Sam from Edge Pledge, and he invented Edge Pledge, so I'd just like to ask him a few questions. So let's get started. So, what started your passion for animals?
Well, I grew up on a dairy farm, and it's great to be chatting with you, Isaac, before I get going. Thank you for inviting me on your show.
It's all right.
I grew up on a dairy farm in central Victoria, and my mum used to grow trees from seeds in the area, and she would slowly just plant trees across the farm. And I would see her every day. She'd go for a walk, and she'd plant a tree at the end of the property, and I'd always be wondering what she's doing. And then one day she just, I showed enough interest, and she said, well, I'll teach you how to grow trees from seed. And from that day, I just loved the environment. I loved the idea that I could grow something from a little teeny tiny little eucalyptus seed. And now, like, what's that, 30 years later, I drive past our old farm and I can see these big eucalypts growing, and I just love the idea that you can create habitat which supports animals and wildlife. And I also love that balance of farming and nature, and we've got to have that balance because we need to eat, and that's, I guess, a passion of mine. How do we ensure that our wildlife and our environment can be protected and even thrive whilst we can still get our food and eat and have a great quality of life? So yeah, it's from growing up on a farm, Isaac, is what is where I got my passion, and I can't shake it off. There's something about the environment that just sort of sticks with me my whole life, and I just love it.
Cool. And what is Edge Pledge, first of all?
Great question. It is an awesome fundraising platform for wildlife. So I was an environmental scientist for the Victorian government for 12 years, and I knew that money is the biggest issue facing our ability to save wildlife. There's just not enough of it. There's awesome organisations out there, but they don't have enough money. So I thought, how do we get more money so these great projects can happen? So we thought, well, let's create the Movember for the environment. I mean, that sounds like a great idea. So I caught up with some mates, and we had a chat like we're having chat now. And we pulled apart some ideas of how could we set up a fundraising platform specifically for wildlife on the edge. We came up with the name Edge Pledge, which we thought was awesome. And then we picked all the concepts. So it's a challenge-based charity. So you do a challenge. It's a bit different because instead of just handing money over, so as a donor, instead of handing the money over, you get to use that money to vote for which challenge your friends do, which we think is really fun. It's gamified donating. And we've been doing it for a couple of years. We love it. We've got 11 environmental partners who we raise money for something like 18 wildlife across Australia. We have great people like Isaac who've done two challenges, and lots of exciting things planned for the future.
Cool. And thanks for including me. I really appreciate that. How can we help?
Yeah, as in you, Isaac, or are we talking about the general public? Because
like the general public.
The general
Thank
public.
you.
Well, you are doing amazing stuff. So even you being out there in the media, I think, is an amazing way for people to help. The more attention we have on the environment and how much you care about and showing other people that they should care about it, I think is massive. So I'd encourage anybody to do what you're doing. And if someone told me this when I was your age or younger, I would have gone nuts and just gone crazy for it. And I think what you're doing is awesome, is create a social media account about the environment and just talk about it. Talk about what you're passionate about, what you love. And this is, again, exactly what you're doing, Isaac. I think it's so powerful, creating content, because everybody is on their phone all the time, and they're on Facebook and Twitter. And if you're creating content for that social media, people are going to see it and they're going to be inspired. So I think the power is in the public's hand to create stories and information around the environment to get others excited. So, 5 years ago, you probably couldn't tell people to create social media stories because no one would really get it. But now I think it's a really powerful way for you personally to influence other people and how they behave. And it's free and it's easy. So yeah, create social media if you really love it. I think that's a key one. Do an Edge Pledge challenge is another one. And we're thinking of all these other different ways people can help. You can volunteer for environmental organisations. You can start your own environmentally focused business, like what we're doing with Edge Pledge, which is how do you start a business that makes money but also does great for the environment, which we love the concept of. and we want to support more environmental entrepreneurs. You could buy a farm. You could become a farmer and look after the landscape. How cool would that be? We're talking to lots of
Yeah.
farmers who love their bush and nature and integrating farming and biodiversity. So become a farmer. Go work for the public service. Become a scientist. There's so many great things you can do. And now more than ever, I think there's just so many opportunities for people your age, Isaac, just to create your future. You don't have to sit back and hope that a job pops up that is exactly what you want. You can create your own future, and you creating this content like you're doing right now, people are going to see it and doors are going to open because they'll want you in front of the camera or promoting projects or giving you opportunities that you wouldn't get otherwise. So that's just a big well done to you.
Thank you. So this is some very wise words from Sam from Edge Pledge.